And we are back in Siemens Mineral Week 2022, talking about mining, of course, about the digitization processes, sustainability, and within these issues, maintenance of sites is key. And for that, we want to talk with Héctor Andrade. He's a service manager of Siemens Chile, and he's here with us. Thank you, Héctor. Thank you for the invitation. Héctor, this is a critical area within the industry, and I would like to talk first with a clarification of what these maintenance projects are within the mining area. Let's give us, let's say, a holistic context of what is maintenance. We do have, from some perspective, the vision of what is maintenance is if we see through our own vehicles, we take it to the uh, shop and we know what is maintenance. But if we see it industrially, we have to see how it is a management system that gives sustainability to our productive processes. How? Through the process itself, but also with the assets. How do we give a service? Well, seeing the guideline of maintenance, for example, the car, or for example, changing some parts, seeing the life cycle, the spare part, and also all the persons that are behind this world. So to make that management cycle can be executed on time, and that allows to extend those cycles. More than extending, what I mentioned is a sustainability. What we are looking for up to the person that drives a car is that the car drives well without problems. In a mining plant, we're looking for the same, that the system operates without difficulties, not necessarily to shorten the cycle, but to guarantee. That's why we talk about sustainability, that once we have intervened all the assets, those assets will operate according to the time that were predefined in between maintenances. It's interesting to see that link, that you don't see it very easily between maintenance and sustainability. When you talk about sustainability, you think of other things and not the maintenance process. Yes, of course, when we say sustainability, we say it in a broader meaning of the word, because not only it should be measured by economical issues. Sustainability has many areas. We talk about sustainability from the social perspective, how we insert in a community from an environmental perspective. What is the impact that our process has in the environment? So sustainability has many areas, not only technical and economical. It's very interesting, and the maintenance process impacts each of those areas, of course, because the objective of maintenance is to ensure that the system complies in between the cycles of maintenance with the most optimal standards of operation. And with that, we are going to reduce all what we can say as negative external issues that is predefined or pre-evaluated when you do the design of the plant, for example. And what you look for with the maintenance process to ensure that the plant or the process is within that design corridor that we thought about. And that is critical for mining, for example, because of the complexities. Yes, absolutely. We're talking about of an industry that is from many decades ago. When you do an investment in the mining industry, we're not talking about 5, 10 years, we're talking about 20, 30 or more years. Therefore, the impact that you will leave in the communities, in the society, not only economically, is long term. Therefore, what we do, not only in the productive but also in the maintenance, is crucial. Hector, how to put it in context, what we are addressing, which is digitization of mining, how to continue improving in the excellence of these maintenance processes in mining? At the beginning, I said that to understand the concept of maintenance in the industrial area, we have to see it as a cycle, a management cycle that could be similar to a quality cycle. A management cycle and a quality cycle, what we look for, and we're always working for continuous improvement. We're always looking for the excellence, operational excellence, excellence in our processes. That's how we start to make it more perfect, to collect information, generating experience, improving our tools, improving the materials. All that will feed this cycle as a virtuous way to improve, so the result will be always positive. I don't know if that gives you global context. Yes, of course, but we can go deep in the way that has changed with the new technologies, for example, and with this process of digitization, how that has been impacted. The cycle, as each cycle wants to improve, but every other time we identify what we can say small pushes in this continuous improvement chain that we identify as innovation. And there have been always great moments in our history when we have important progresses in innovation, for example, materials. Everybody knows that sometimes we have new generation materials with new features, with new life cycle, and also we have tools, physical tools that you can take with your hands that are improved. And in that sense, digitization appears as a great element, as a great leverage for the transformation of this management process, of this cycle of management to improve. But when I talk about digitization that is as a lever, you have to see it as physical elements, a set of tools. It's not the tool. It's a group of tools, or what we call in our environment an ecosystem of solution. And that makes the work easier? Yes. What does a tool look for? Intellectual software is to supply some limitation that we have from the human perspective. The physical tools started for supplying our physical capacities to help us with that. The digital tools are to comply with a need that we have basically or mainly in managing great information, great volumes of information.
So it's not a mystery that today the amount of information that is being disclosed is tremendous. And we are trying to make decisions with the minimum information, with what is humanly possible. And now, with the digital technology, we have major centers of processing, machine learning that is capable of bringing in the data, making decision in real time. And in that sense, this is a learning process which is continuous. Yes, it is. Learning that we are having is permanent. So, in one way or the other, in industry or history, we're always thinking about how we capture the information, retain the information, and gather the information so everyone with the best experience will take that to the next generation. And there is always a gap. There is always a gap. We need to move forward. We need to move forward. And now, this is a continuum with digital technology. Information is being generated, is being managed, is being processed, and always making it available so we could all use that. Now, going to a more specific, concrete area, what are the main issues that mining companies are facing, and where this change and automation process could bring better answers? Maintenance as a cycle. Well, I am convinced that the greatest challenge the mining industry has is sustainability. And it's not sustainability from the economic point of view, but it is a sustainability from the social point of view, environmental point of view. And here's where we see digitalization as one of the great tools so as to support that. And we know that in the mining industry, one of the great consumers of power consumption are rotational machines, motors. Then a general motor, it takes energy, consumes energy in general, and what it's doing is generating CO2, greenhouse effect. It's affecting the environment. And this is what we have always wanted. From the technical point of view, we're looking for the optimum. And what we want is a plan to work at the most optimum level possible, to take all the necessary so our process will work. And when we have consumption of energy, and also with a greenhouse gas effect. That we do that with intelligence, people's intelligence, but digital technology is key. And today we have platforms that can measure the real time of the consumption of all these equipment. And we're talking about thousands of equipment at the mine. And that is automating the processes of each of them. You spend less energy or the necessary energy, and you have a lower impact on the environment. Looking for that optimum is fragile, is difficult to achieve. Yes, of course. And considering that the mine plants are life cycle, you're varying that, and you're processing that. And we are processing copper. This is not always homogeneous, and it has different types of concentration. And what we need to do is to adjust the process. So what we are doing, and with the support of the digital systems, is more intelligent. And we have many, many areas. Let's see, people, and we have heard and we have seen in many publications that one of the great challenges of the mining industry is how we make the environment safer, because it is contaminant, it's aggressive, physically aggressive, and what we're doing is working in the areas, and on those areas that are more demanding, and we need to take that out. And that is why we have robotization, remote possibilities of remote work. And how do I manage that? And how to evaluate that in a risk condition. And knowing that if the plant is in a risk condition, and with the digital condition, I am dealing with another area, that is the health of our workers. And that has to do with the sustainability. Well, it also has to do with the social part of the challenge. How is this seen in this, socially speaking? Well, from the social point of view, we know that all industries, they need to insert themselves. And a great challenge is to see how we make societies, how we make population, how we make communities around us be part of what we do. And what we used to do, we used to take people from different places, and we would take them to mine plants. And on the way of they don't want to mobilize, they want to stay in their territory, they want to stay within their community. So how do we do that? How do we integrate them? So also in technology, and the demands, and having to mobilize, working from a remote area. And this is an important part that we are seeing that is happening. So Hector, to be more specific, could you tell us about the digital developments in the mining industry in this sense? Well, as we said before, digitalization is not the solution, but it is a group of tools to help in that process, And what we have to do is to start pointing out issues. For instance, sensors, intelligent sensors, add that up to machines, and we could have the process, the operation, safety, digital twins that we're carrying out, we're developing. And what is the objective of having a digital twin? Talking from the point of view, the human point of view, how do we take the people out of areas of risk? But how can we test that? So that's why we have a digital twin that will help us replicate in an environment so as to make tests and to explore and see if this is viable or not. And these are affected by human decisions. This is interesting. It is very interesting because it allows the development that some decades ago was simply unthinkable. Yes. And in these decisions, it was considered by a group of people that would take days, weeks, years. And now the world doesn't allow us that time. So we need to make decisions in a faster way and in a more efficient way. Hector, we're talking about decisions that generate changes, dynamics, changes in the dynamics of the work groups. What happens with the people that are working on that, for instance, in maintenance? Well, without a doubt, and as we mentioned, changes in these cycles, management cycles, are changes that are looking for continuous improvement, excellence, and therefore it has challenges. And that is between the community, the people, and they need to go to a technology that is needs to be present. So all challenges invite for an opportunity. And in a physical tool, mechanical tool, needs people, and we have a role. We have a role. We need to invite these people into this cycle and show them the tools that they could use. It is a challenge, and this is something that we need to work with. Yes, it's interesting because that helps us change and also leave the fear out and have a different approach and take advantage of these tools. It's what we call it, a deal breaker. And it's a day-to-day. The objective is to integrate it, to have new tools. What the industry is looking for is a more sustainable process. It's a more sustainable process, viable, and that could be projected to the long run. This is fundamental, and we need to take this up. We need to bring people into this technology. And what is the technology that we're looking for? Is to look for that. And with the same people that we have, we can produce better. You've been in the industry over 20 years, and in Siemens specifically, it's been a long road, many changes. How do you see that today, and what has happened in the industry? It is a complex question. Yes, I've been here for 25 years in the company, whole life. And I've seen so many changes in the area of digitalization. And the service manager, it used to be the person on site. And I remember that to make a decision, to make this, to start with a team working, I needed to send a fax. If there was something that we did not agree with, or there was an issue there, so there was a risk for people and decision making. So there was a group of engineers sitting elsewhere. I needed to send them a fax. So such a decision making would take a week. The fax and waiting for someone to receive the fax, take it to the committee, and that is online today. So the service manager, they see a problem and they link remotely and they do a remote connection and they say, oh, the parameter is okay. And sometimes these things are overwhelming, but I have learned to accept that and internalize that as an additional tool that I'm willing to use. Yes, yes, it has been a great reflection. Thank you so much. Thank you for your thoughts.